So you might have seen recently this guy decided to solo climb up the face of a skyscraper in Taipei. Absolutely mental, no safety ropes, no harnesses, no nothing, just him and himself just climbing up the face of this bloody skyscraper. And it got me thinking recently about how I deal with fear as a small business owner. Now, I actually saw the same guy who climbed the skyscraper talking on a podcast, and he was talking about obviously how he deals with fear, and obviously the question was posed to him about how you deal with fear as you're climbing up the bloody side of a cliff or side of a skyscraper with no safety ropes whatsoever.
When was the last time most people were actually afraid? You know, like when's the last time people faced actual fear, particularly physical danger, like anything where they could actually get hurt?
What it got me thinking about was when was the last time that I actually truly faced any sort of real fear in my head, and something where I was literally on the face of life and death. And probably the answer to that for me is never. Not in anything that I can remember have I ever been in that sort of situation where I've literally been on the face of, one wrong move and that's it. It's literally game over, death, no more Dave. So if you're new to the channel, I'm Dave. I've been running my business now for the last 4 years, completely solo. And if you haven't done so already, do me a favour and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be talking a lot more about stuff like this as the days and weeks and months go on. And yeah, it'd really, really help if you would subscribe. So what I think is, as small business owners and just as human beings altogether, really, we all live in this little bubble, and this thing connected to us brains, this big bald thing as it is on my shoulders, is constantly throwing up lots and lots of fears. And what it does a fantastic job of doing is creating fear out of literally nothing. Like if you think about it, it's some of the stuff that your brain throws up is just absolutely ridiculous in the grand scheme of things, and none of it really actually ever matters. Now, I've experienced tons and tons of fear in all the days that I've been running the business, and looking back on those things, and with this guy's what he was saying on the podcast in mind as well, a lot of those fears are absolutely ridiculous. Now, obviously in the moment, every single fear is completely valid, and yeah, it seems 100% real at the time. Some of the things that I can kind of think back on in my time have been thinking about, what if a client was to leave, or what if I can't pay the bills this month, or what if things don't work out, what if I sound or look stupid when I'm making content and stuff like that. But really, none of them even pale in comparison to climbing up a skyscraper completely solo with no safety ropes. None of them are life and death. In all honesty, life for me now is absolutely fantastic. The bills are paid, I've got money in the bank, clients are coming in, marketing's going well, business is going well. And I think it's coming up now, obviously, where I've got this massive goal for this year, for 2026, where I'm aiming to hit £100,000 revenue for the first time in all of the years that I've been running the business. And of course, my head is doing its fantastic job of throwing up as many excuses, as many fears, making me feel as scared as possible about it. And really, looking back now, none of it matters, because ultimately, I'm going through life and I have got safety ropes in place. I've got lots and lots of safety. I've got lots and lots of comfort. And I think for me, the important thing for this year, in terms of me hitting my goals, is being aware that the fear's there, being aware that this thing is always going to be throwing that kind of stuff up, and still pushing on and facing the fear and just doing it anyway. Because ultimately, in this little bubble that we've got of life, we have got so many safety ropes. There's always a harness, there's always something to catch you fall, and nothing really in the grand scheme of it is actually going to set us back that much and going to end it all for us. Just being aware of obviously that and pushing on regardless. And it is a constant battle as a small business owner. You're constantly battling those fears. Am I doing the right thing? If things going to work out? What if this goes wrong? This, that and the other. And yeah, it's actually, for me, probably a good sign that there's fear there. I think it shows that I care. It shows that what I'm actually doing matters. And it shows that it's important, and it's also a massive rocket up my backside as well to keep me focused and keep me pushing forward. So this year, obviously big goals, big things happening, and there's going to be a lot of fear, there's going to be a lot of things going around in my head, but just going to keep on pushing forward and cracking on regardless. And yeah, although I'm not going to be climbing up any skyscrapers anytime soon, it certainly feels like that sometimes, but Really, that's not the case at all. So yeah, if you haven't done so already, do me a favour and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it, and I will see you on the next video.